ground, and they're not getting film permits for fear of being fined. So they should already be feeling the loss of tax revenue due to what's already passed, let alone what happens with Prop 60, which will be harder to enforce, will tie up the courts, and cost the state a ton in tax revenue and a ton in enforcement. Mm-hmm. No one's looking at the big picture on that.
This is the thing I just don't understand. And there's a graphic, I believe, floating around on Twitter of some of the different pieces of legislation in this whole thing. And just the fact that you can sue people is crazy. But that whole thing where they're going to reveal the producers and the stars' home addresses and legal names, I'm like, that's some scary shit.
You know what? It really fucking is, because there was a thing a number of years ago called Porn WikiLeaks, and there was a breach in security. I know it sounds funny, but it's actually
what the hell?
There was a breach in security at the now defunct Adult Industry Medical Center, and thousands of performers' names, last names, medical records, addresses, including mine, was released.
Oh, they just released all the...
Yeah, it was put out on the internet.
Wow.
I had people contacting my mother, contacting my sisters, and it's what I do has nothing to do with my mother or my sisters or anyone in my family. And that type of harassment was horrifying. I had to move across the country so that I could be with my family, so they and I felt safe at home at night. Wow. If Prop 60 passes, I am legitimately terrified.
Yeah. So, okay, back up here. Explain to me this. I'm just amazed that there would be a porn WikiLeaks thing. What happened here? That they basically just hacked a database and they put all this information out there.
They hacked a private medical database and put it all on the internet.
Wow. That is... I just don't understand people and their use of technology.
It was a disgruntled ex-industry member who was beyond.
Okay, well, that's always the ticket. There's always a path. It's not just some idiot with a computer in his bedroom. So,
well, if Prop 60 passes, it absolutely will just be some idiot on a computer in his bedroom. Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, with this, when we were talking with the representative from AIPAC earlier, they were talking about the fact that the Democrat and the Republican Party, election 2016 has been the craziest thing in the world, but she said that the Democrats and the Republicans out there in California are all on your side. This is the craziest deal, because I would think that one of those two would not be.
No. Basically, everyone is against Prop 60 because it's terrifying. It's no one, the main tagline that we've been using is harassment is not a California value. Like, that's not something that we do here. This is supposed to be like a very inclusive, wonderful, beautiful state that welcomes people of all, races and genders and creeds and everything. And for one specific group of people to be targeted is just not okay whatsoever.
And on top of it, it's going to cost the state a lot of money. It's going to cost the state tax revenue. It's almost unenforceable. Mm-hmm. And it gives Michael Weinstein a government position for life that is nearly impossible to remove him from.
Yep.
So he gets a taxpayer paid salary to be the porn czar.
The porn czar.
Until he takes his final breath.
Apparently, that's what it is. So does this? Is this more of a he wants to get a paid position and get a check rather than?
It's both.
Wow.
It's both. He wants to push his own agendas. Michael Weinstein has also been using his foundation's money to protest new development in Hollywood. Tell me what AIDS healthcare has to do with new apartment buildings in Hollywood.
I really couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't have a clue. We've got the crew from 288 Podcast with us today here in our broadcast. 288podcast.com is the official website if you want to get a hold of these two. Matt Slayer with us today, and of course Draven Starr. Now, this whole thing with the with this Prop 60. Is there enough people that are educated voters and enough people that are in the industry and outside the industry that are going to know that when they go to the voting booth, the way this is written, and like I was talking earlier, I just find it so strange that we have all these amendments that are, well, if you vote no on this, it really means you're voting yes, and if you vote yes, it really means no. Is there enough people to know that they need to vote no on 60? The way the amendment's written? Did we lose him? We lost him. We lost him. We're going to try it again. I'll try this again. Skype. There they are. They're calling us. There we are. Okay. As I was saying, is there enough educated people to know that they need, when they go in, they read the amendment, that they know they need to vote no on 60? There we are. I heard him. I heard something in the background.
Can you hear us?
There we go. I've got you now.
Hey, we can hear you.
Okay.
Awesome.
This, like I was saying, is there enough educated people when they go into the voting booth to know the way that this amendment is written? You know, it's one of these weird amendments where it's like, you know, you vote no, but it really means yes, and you vote yes, it really means no. Do they know does enough people know they need to vote no when they go into the voting booth? Internet connection problems, supposedly, with the Skype. I love Skype. There's a problem with your internet connection between you two. Hold on while we try to get a backup. What? We're speaking with Draven Starr today. Also, Mr. Matt Slayer from the 288 podcast. And they're with us on, or were with us on Skype audio. We'll get this figured out. I love Skype because the audio is better. The audio is so much better than doing it on the telephone. Because with the telephone, you have the static and all the crap in the background. But I think they're going to reboot and be back with us here, hopefully. This is a 30-minute interview that has taken an hour to do. But it is technology. Technology either hates me or hates them or hates both of us. It's one of the two. Welcome to the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio program, coast to coast and border to border on TuneIn, iTunes, Radio Loyalty, Stitcher, and, of course, the brand new Jiggy Jaguar app, available in the App Store, jiggyjaguar.us. We've been talking most of the show today about this situation in Los Angeles, no on 60. And we have a bevy of stations that carry this program out there in Los Angeles on AM, FM affiliates across the fruited plain out there. And this is the craziest amendment, because you essentially are going to legalize pervs going after people. They're back, I think. We'll try this again. You essentially are going to...
Hey.
There we are.
Boom!
Well, what I was saying earlier, before we got cut off, is there enough... Since the way this amendment is written, which I love the way that... everybody's writing their amendments anymore, where it's like, well, you know, if you vote no, it really means yes, and if you vote yes, it really means no. Are there enough people that when they go into the voting booth, they're educated enough to vote no on 60?
We certainly hope so.
Yeah.
The problem is AHF has been pitching this to people. Do you want to protect porn performers?
Yeah,
See,
they'll go to suburban areas, stand out front of Walmarts, and be like, "Do you want to protect these poor girls in porn? It's so unsafe for them."
Yeah.
Like, when it's really the safest industry in the whole world. Like, I can tell you right now, I've got two sisters, and both of them have, at some point in their life, caught an STD and then gotten rid of it. And there's no problem with that. But me, as a porn performer, I have never caught an STD my entire life. because of the strict and rigorous testing, as well as my own personal precautions that I take in my personal life.
Yeah.
So last I checked, I could take care of myself, and I don't need Michael Weinstein telling me when I need to get my bits checked.
Well, and even within the last 5 years, the industry self-policing has gotten more stringent.
Extremely stringent. We get tested every 13 days for crying out loud.
Yes, and that's one thing that we when we covered the AVN Awards in January, I spoke to a lot of either performers or people that were in the medical part of the adult film industry. You guys have the safest industry. It is just amazing the enforcement and everything that you guys do. So I don't understand how they get off with this whole thing of, well, we're going to help protect the porn performers. That whole thing.
No, they're just trying to push their own. They're trying to push their own objectives.
Yeah, they're trying to spin it however they think is going to work. However they think they can get people to vote when it's super twisted, because people who may not be aware of an issue, when there's so many different propositions on a bill or on like a ballot, you know, you'd like to hope that everyone takes the time to read up and, you know, read them and try to understand them before voting one way or another, but that's not always the case.
Yeah.
All they hear is the big talking point of, we are protecting these poor girls.
Yeah.
Who didn't need protecting in the first place.
Right.
Because the industry polices itself.
Now, with the one thing that I noticed when we were out in Vegas was when we would talk to various people. Like, for instance, we talked with these gentlemen who had they had come up with this software to go through the tube sites and identify the different clips, and it would then be able to report to the copyright owner and everything. And I said, this is absolutely amazing. Who's involved? You know, who's jumped on this? And they said, not a lot of people. And they said the way the adult film industry works is that someone has to make the commitment to jump on it first, and then everybody else follows suit. Was that a case with this amendment, or was it a case of everybody went, we're all jumping in because this is needs to protect our livelihoods and our personal space? Is that how this worked?
Yeah, it was definitely the latter. It was definitely not a trendy thing. It was as soon as it came to light and we all kind of looked at it and found out what was behind it and what was happening, we all were so outraged and terrified that we all jumped on it all at once.
Now, I know that there's got to be at least one or two people in the adult film industry that doesn't care about this, because it seems like that there is one or two people in every industry whenever something happens where they're like, that doesn't affect me. I don't need to be bothered with that.
If they feel that way, it's because they're not educated on it, or they're new to the industry. They have no idea the record keeping, everything that goes involved into it. I can't imagine a performer not caring about this. I really, really cannot.
Well, that was my question. Is I didn't know, have you guys come across or heard about anybody that?
No one.
No.
That's
no,
fantastic.
Everyone's super passionate about it.
This has been the biggest uniting force I've ever seen in the industry.
That's fantastic. That is amazing. Because, like I said, there's been a lot of times where, you know, we've whether it's music or, you know, professional wrestling, whatever, we've run into different people. And there'll be something that is a uniting force in that industry. And there'll be one or two people that are like, it doesn't affect me, fuck it. And I didn't know if that was the case, but that's cool that everybody has kind of united under one front on this.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean,
no, it's wonderful.
Because the performers, besides the performers in the production that get driven out of California, if this passes, the set builders, all of the other behind-the-scenes crew.
Yeah, the photographers, the lighting, the makeup artists, the wardrobe people, everything.
And people's families that get uprooted. People are married. People have children.
Yeah.
And if they have to relocate for their work, they're now going to have to uproot their children from schools and then take them somewhere else so they could work.
Yeah, there's a number of people in the industry with children and jobs outside of the industry that would not want to move to a different state or a different area, that would basically have to.
Yeah. Now, I know that, you know, just from all the research I've seen on this and talking to you guys and talking to the APAC people earlier, it seems like this is basically a game set match thing, that this won't You guys are not going to have to worry about anything because this isn't going to pass. But in the event that it does, what is anybody preparing for the possibility for this to actually happen, or is it it's not going to pass? We got all the support.
I have a lot of friends looking at real estate in different states, including myself. I've looked into moving to a different state in case it passes.
Yeah,
because it's that serious.
Yeah. Well, the APAC folks told us that it's probably going to be a nail biter all the way to the end.
There's really no landslide. Oh, we're not worried about it because it's not going to pass. Like, everyone's scared because there's a chance it could, and we really, really, really don't want it to, and it's so unsafe if it does pass.
Now, since California seems to be the central resource for the adult film industry, if this passes, is there going to be, is some state somewhere basically going to get a golden ticket of tax revenue coming their way, or is this going to fracture everybody and we're just going to have, various people are going to be out on the East Coast, various people are on the West Coast, or is it going to, or has there been a discussion of, hey, we're going to Vegas?
Well, I mean, that also kind of depends because it's not legal to shoot porn in every state in the country.
Ah, yes, there is that factor.
Yeah, so
technically, California and Connecticut are the only two.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, sorry. I knew it was one of the.
Yeah.
New Hampshire and California are the only two states where it's specifically allowed and legal to shoot pornography.
Yeah.
Clark County, Nevada, has been issuing city filming permits.
Yeah.
But it is not specifically allowed by state law in Nevada.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I'm sure would get resolved by the state Supreme Court very quickly if everyone had to relocate.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd get right on that.
Yes, if the entire porn industry said, we're coming. We're coming to Nevada, and that's just the way things are. And because I'll tell you, the tax revenue, like you were talking earlier about the fact that, this affects, makeup artists and grips and camera people and all this, they pay taxes too.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So,
and they spend revenue on gear that won't be taxed anymore.
Yep.
This is just amazing that something like this has come about. I notice all the avatars. I notice all the different things on Twitter and a lot of the social media. Where it seems like everybody is getting together on this. Has there been, I guess, and this is, and you guys maybe can answer this question for me too, because I've had this question since January when we were in Vegas. But before I get to that, has there been a centralized, I guess, leader on this that has basically kind of taken it upon themselves to push this whole thing? Is there one person in this, or is it just the whole industry itself is like, this sucks, we need to get the word out about it?
I would say that, APAC is like the front runner.
APAC and the Free Speech Coalition.
Yeah, Free Speech Coalition too, yeah.
Yeah.
Are really the two groups that are really help organizing and really putting forth the political pressure.
Yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's one individual, because it's really groups working and the industry working on behalf of itself.
Yeah. Okay. Because the one question I had when we were in Las Vegas, we interviewed, whether it was male performers, female performers, producers, we talked a little bit to everybody. I come from the world of being a fan of mixed martial arts and professional wrestling. And I know in professional wrestling there's Vince McMahon, and that's the guy. He is the end-all, be-all guy. In UFC, it's Dana White. But I've noticed, is there a Dana White or a Vince McMahon type figure in porn? Because from what I can tell, there isn't like a centralized person that's like, hey, this is how things go. So when I was asking you about, this whole No on 60, was there one person that's put this together? That's nice to hear, because I don't think that there is a central person in porn, or is there?
No.
And 5-6 years ago, there were 5 or 6 major studios. It's kind of looking like Sony, Universal, like if you were looking at mainstream film. where there's large production houses, but there's never.
Yeah, but there's no like one
guy.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just, to me, that's just amazing, because I would think there's enough money being made in porn, and there's enough, like you guys were talking earlier with the medical situation, how that is just top notch. There had to be somebody somewhere who implemented that. And I'm like, who is the central person that's running the show? But it's like the Wild Wild West in the porn.
Well, I mean,
you guys still there?
one for all. It's really not like,
because it benefits.
Well, yeah, it benefits it. Everybody gets benefited somehow. Did we lose them? We have a good conversation going, and then I lose them. I don't need to see my video. I don't need my video. What is that about? Connecting. Oh, Skype. Oh, Skype, you disappoint me verily. We've been talking with Draven and Matt from 288 Podcast here about the Vote No on 60 situation out there in Los Angeles. I don't know what happened there. This is the weirdest crap. Okay, that is that. We are going to wrap up here for our special presentation today here on the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar Experience, coast-to-coast, border-to-border, TuneIn, iTunes, Radio Loyalty, Stitcher, and, of course, the brand-new Jiggy Jaguar app available in the App Store. As they come, hopefully when they come back, we can get a wrap-up here from them. I'm sure they had to reboot the computer, because I had to reboot my computer earlier, the production computer, which is the heart of this show. Yeah, I got the broadcast computer to send a signal out, but if I can't play bits or music or anything, I had nothing else going. So we're going to give them a little bit of time to reboot the computer here possibly and get back with us. If you're listening to us live, thank you. If you're listening to us on a replay, thank you. If you're listening to us on a podcast, leave a review on iTunes. I encourage you to do so. Check out JiggyJaguar.com, JiggyJaguar.com. We are going to post both our interviews today, just in case you've come in late or missed them. They will be up on our website, JiggyJaguar.com. Our Draven Starr Matt Slayer interview that we are in the process of finishing up here, that will be up on our website. And then we will also have the APAC interview as well. We're going to try to wrap things up here with them. And they rebooted, it looked like. Looked like they were back. And we're going to see here. I just love connecting. There we are. There we are.
Hey.
Okay.
I have no idea what the...
It is just technology's against us today, kids. That's just what it is. As we wrap up here with you guys, how do we? I'm assuming 288podcast.com, and that's where we get all the information.
You can get all that information. You can also find the podcast wherever you find our podcast: Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud,
all of it. Yeah.
Anywhere you find a podcast, you can find us.
Awesome. Well,
you can find us on, you can find us on Twitter at 288podcast. You can find Slayer on Twitter as Matt _ Slayer, and I am at the Doom Doll. And you can, if anybody has any questions about, if you live in California and you have any questions about Prop 60 and you want it from like a performer, feel free to tweet me or anybody else. Where we really just want to like educate people about it so they vote no.
Yes. People do need to vote no on this. I appreciate you guys making time for us today. Keep up the good fight, and I will hopefully see you guys in Vegas during the AVN in January. So thanks for being with us.
We'll be there. Bring your drinking shoes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, when we're there, I'd like to get you guys on the TV show if you have a little bit of time.
For sure.
So we will definitely catch up with you guys closer to January. Good luck on this. Check out 288podcast.com. And I appreciate you guys coming on and giving us a little education on this vote no on 60 situation.
We're more than happy to do it.
Absolutely.
As I said, tweet at us. We will happily answer any questions any of your listeners have, especially if they're in Southern California.
Or in California in general.
In general, yes.
If you're anywhere in California,
we'd be happy to speak to you. We don't want to move.
Yeah, I'm really not trying to move. I really like my house.
Nobody wants to do that, and
No.
you guys shouldn't have to. So,
No, my Chihuahua really likes her backyard, y'all. Don't make her move.
My 13 illegitimate children like it here.
Well, thank you guys, and good luck with everything, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Talk to you.
Thank you much. Thanks, guys. It is the 288 Podcast. Hosts Draven Starr, Matt Slayer. Check out 288podcast.com. And that is that as we wrap up here. Thanks for joining us on Ustream. Yes,